So this is combat video 1. Talk briefly about what's going on with these dice and combat. We didn't get to see a lot of it because Kenny, my dog Sims, really took it to town. So this is how the dice work. There's 3 types of D8s. They're all custom. The yellow is a single burst 50-50 die. These are beta dice. Don't worry about what you see. Our production values, knowing what our production values are, you can imagine what the dice will look like. But basically, on this die, 50% of it is success and 50% of it isn't. The red die is also a 50% success die, but unlike the yellow die, you have a side that has 2 bursts. The 2 burst side will be much bigger bursts with a number, most likely. And then the third type of die is the collateral damage die, which is also the soak die. So if you roll a black die, you will damage every person and thing in an area. An area is defined as this circle here, including the area itself. And we'll see that in some of the combat coming up. It also happens to be the soak die, so if you roll this die and it comes up a shield when you are mitigating damage, you've soaked 1 point of damage. If you're soaking and you roll a burst, you get nothing, and you'll like it. So these are the dice we're going to be using, and then I'll set up some combat with the security forces, and you'll see how dangerous it can get. I'm going to talk about generic combat for a bit. In this situation, we have a one-on-one Security Force 1 versus the CCC demo. During the Op 4 phase, if a Security Force or Op 4 miniature can attack, they will roll their attack dice. They each get to attack twice, and if there are any successes, which are signified by the burst, then the defender, in this case the CCC demo, would roll his soak damage based off of his armor value, any personal abilities or corporate abilities, and based off the amount of damage the tile has taken if there's any extra armor on that collateral damage disc in this case. So if he rolls 2 successes on his attack and the demo rolls 2 shields on his soak, the demo doesn't take any damage. Let's say he only rolled 1 shield on his soak roll, then he would take 1 damage. If the security force lights him up with 3 successes and he doesn't roll any soaking shields, then he's just taken 3 damage, and that's it, and that's all. I mean, that's how combat works both ways. The difference is our mercs that you play are significantly better than Security Force 1, better than Security Force 2, slightly better than Security Force 3, and Security Force 4, that's a good fight. I mean, it's straight up even. So you have to be very careful going one-on-one versus a Security Force 4, or even one-on-2 versus a Security Force 4. You have to play wisely. During the course of these combat videos, we're also going to proxy Security Forces 1, 2, 3, and 4 with some of the miniatures that you may or may not know that you would be getting if you purchase certain mission packs or when you get to stretch goals. What we have out there now is the Safadu. They are an African faction. They are the first mission pack we put up. We have a Assault Trooper, Gunner, and Berserker in this case, and they're going to represent our Security Force 1s. I'm going to use this area beside them to show their dice. Security Force 1, every Security Force gets to attack twice when they attack. Security Force 1 uses pistols. They're basically, low-level security for the MegaCon, so they have pistols, which are 3 yellow dice. All Security Force attack twice. Security Force 1 attack 1 target twice, and the target they choose to attack will be the one with the highest priority. So in this case, let's say the demo here is our is our high priority target. So those 3 will attack the demo twice. I'll roll the first one. No successes, so he wouldn't have to roll soak dice. 1 success, he'd have to roll soak dice. If he rolled soak dice, he gets 2 plus 1 for being CCC. He didn't roll any shields, so he's just taking a damage. If the next person attacks, that's 2 successes. He's soaked 1. He's soaked 1. So far he's taken 2 damage, and he's only halfway through the combat with these people. It's when you start to play it, you realize how important reserve actions are, because if you let the Op 4 move in and attack you without any kind of neutralization, you're gonna take damage, and it's gonna hurt. So the last guy, 2 bursts once again. No soak dice. So our demo, is down 4 to 5 hit points, and we just started, and it's really just one group. On the converse, or conversely I should say, when the demo attacks, let's just have the demo attack back on his turn. He's high priority, he gets to go first. That's why he got shot. He says, I'm gonna light these security force 1 up. He gets to roll 4 yellow and 2 black for his attack. When he does this, he got 1 burst. He spent 1 CP. He would be targeting, let's say, the gunner. He got 1 burst, security force 1. They don't get any armor. They have 2 hit points, so he's damaged that guy twice. He's going to spend another CP and attack again. So this is where it gets a bit interesting, because he has 2 successes, 3 successes on him. So that guy's dead. He also has 1 success on the other 2 because this is a collateral damage dice. This die alone means everything in this area is going to get damaged in one way, shape, or another. So this guy's probably dead. Well, he is dead. It's not probably. These 2 guys are going to take a damage, but they're not dead, and the tile itself will take a damage, and so you'll have to put a collateral damage disc out. And so we'll go ahead and put sorry, that was my phone. A collateral damage disc out. And so now these people, who normally don't have any armor whatsoever, get an armor soak from the tile itself. They each have 1 hit point left. Because he doesn't want to spend any more command points, the demo is going to be done. The incinerator happens to be next, and she is going to use her sweeping attack, which is 4 and 2 auto blood damage, auto collateral damage. This means that they each get 1 die to soak. They don't succeed. She doesn't even need to roll for the damage because she's just done 2 auto damage. These 2 guys die, and this collateral damage disc may actually upgrade to the next collateral damage disc depending. And that's just security force 1. Texaco will be standing in for our security force 2. Security force 2 has riot guns, which means they roll 4 collateral damage dice. You can see where this is going pretty quickly. Any bursts rolled on a collateral damage dice affects any merc and the area. So in this case, the demo here, he's going to roll his shotgun dice. No successes. Of course, every security force gets to attack twice. And 4 successes. Gives it and taketh away. So in this case, every one of these mercs and this area could potentially take 4 damage. They have to roll their soak dice. Any bursts they don't soak will result in damage. So in one attack, these 3 mercs could take 4 damage, and the area is definitely going to get damaged. And that's just the one guy. We attack with the other guy. 3 bursts. And get back over here. No bursts. And so potentially with these just 2 guys, these mercs could take potentially 7 damage, and the area is absolutely collateral damage. That's Security Force 2. We didn't get to see a lot of Security Force 2, if at all, in the first gameplay videos. So Security Force 1 have pistols, but Security Force 2 have shotguns and a lot of collateral damage, and so you start getting a lot of Security Force 2 out there, you'll quickly take a lot of damage. And so staying in a group is both good and bad in some cases. Security Force 3, as represented by our Kimvar here, a leader assassin and shock trooper, is where it starts to get way kind of difficult. They roll 3 light damage dice or yellow dice and 1 collateral damage dice. So they have a little bit of collateral damage potential, but they really have pretty decent on target damage. They will attack 2 targets once if possible. In this case, it's based off priority. So if we go back to our original example, and the demo has the highest priority and the incinerator has the second highest priority, the leader will attack him once and him once, him once, and the shock trooper will attack the demo once and the incinerator once, and the assassin will attack the demo once and the incinerator once. And so quickly we can, so that's 2 potential damage. And once again, any collateral damage dice affect everyone in that area and the area itself, as always. And so anyone with collateral damage dice have the potential to hurt everyone. And if they start to get specific dice with the collateral damage dice, then it starts to get really, really bad. Security Force 4, as represented by our EU figures here, they roll 3 light damage dice and 2 collateral damage dice. They also have 5 hit points, 2 armor. They attack 1 target twice, and if they are hurt, they have tactics that put innocents in line of fire. So if you don't kill a Security Force 4 outright, they tend to become a lot more difficult, because then you have to start dealing with civilians in the way. Employees, as it were. Obviously, their extra collateral damage dice can potentially mean a lot of extra damage. They're fairly vicious. You would be amazed how much just 1 simple additional collateral damage dice can do. So we're going to let our Marshal, Tactical Marshal, stand in for Security Force 4 Plus. Examples of Security Force 4 Plus would be like the GCC Judge, and a couple figures we haven't revealed yet. And their dice aren't the same, so they're not always 2 red and 2 yellow, and they tend to do very specific things. However, when you get to Security Force 4 Plus, you start to have to deal with individuals that are rolling red dice. And anytime you roll red dice, you can absolutely get smoked. I mean, absolutely destroyed. I mean, basically you have the potential of receiving 6 damage. The best merc in the game can't soak 6 damage. And if you by chance, because it's a roll of the dice, don't soak any, you're really, really in trouble, because you've just taken 6 damage, which is about half your hit points before you go unconscious. And remember, this guy gets to attack twice. If by some sad happenstance he decides to roll 6 damage twice, you know, I mean, that was a legitimate roll, and he just did 4 damage to him the first time and 3 damage the second time, just because of the red dice. And so he potentially could take 9 damage this turn, which turns the incinerator into a limping, low command point target.